time in the movement. I take an issue that I've heard debated in the movement repeatedly over the last few weeks from various different points of view. The question of what is our attitude to the trade unions. Right? First of all, a lot of the discussion about trade unions, always a basic question for socialists, a lot of the discussion about it, proceeds in terms of kind of one of Aristotle's old syllogisms. On the one hand, there are people who say, the unions are workers' organisations, therefore they are great, and we're all for trade unions. And other people who say, the unions are terrible organisations, they work for the capitalists, therefore we're against the trade unions. It's like neat, simple, abstract thinking. What is a dialectical approach enables us to do? Enables first of all to understand that trade unions embody contradictions. First and foremost, the contradiction between the leadership of trade unions and the rank and file. Yes, they are workers' organisations at the bottom, and for that reason we're in favour of them, but they have a leadership that serves the interests of the bosses, which we need to understand as well and oppose. And these two contradictory elements are both true. It's not one or the other, they're both true. And then we have to look at how you handle that contradiction, how that contradiction works itself out. What are the causes of it? It all has to be seen as something in movement. It's not a fixed thing. It's not that there's just a leadership who are always bad and just a rank and file who are always good. The two are interacting with one another in a complex way, so we have to deal with that concretely and how it's developing. Again, if you say the rank and file are good and the leadership is corrupt or serving the bosses, does that mean you would always oppose the leadership? That would mean, I think, that if then we find that the two leadership supports the demonstration on the 26th, we should say, we don't want you, go away, you're corrupt, rotten. No, because what we're dealing with here is not a fixed abstraction, but what is the relationship between the rank and file and the leadership and how they interact. The leadership itself is not only just is in certain circumstances when they're supporting the movement, that's useful and so on. So the dialectical thinking enables us to get beyond these fixed abstractions. The same we took about debates about the Labour Party. You can construct simple syllogisms. And, I wouldn't make it a sectarian discussion, but it struck me with the Socialist Party speaker. I can remember when the Socialist Party used to argue as follows. The Labour Party is the party of the working class, therefore you have to be in it, and anybody who's not in the Labour Party is not part of the workers' movement. That was simple. And of course the Labour Party is the party of the working class. Now they argue the Labour Party is not the party of the working class and you should have nothing whatsoever to do with it. When Lenin approached the question of the Labour Party, he approached it dialectically, and he said, the Labour Party is a capitalist workers' party. Now, you might think Lenin was a fool. How can it be a capitalist and a workers' party? He doesn't understand. Right, that's good. Doesn't he understand that capitalists and workers are opposed? No, Lenin understood perfectly that capitalists and workers are opposed. He didn't have any allusion to the Labour leadership at all. You want to read denunciations of Labour Party leaders, read Lenin. I mean, God, he was vicious. But he understood that they had both a leadership that supported capitalism and a base in the working class, and therefore you had to relate to that in order to win the workers away from the capitalist leadership, and that made them different from an openly capitalist party like the British Tory Party or Fine Gael and so on, and therefore you approach them differently. So on those sorts of questions, and all